Well, my week 8 went very well, but we can't celebrate too much because we are now focusing on week 9. So let's see if I can do just as good this week as I did last week. It's time for Ben's Quick Picks. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Ben's Quick Picks. This is the Week 9 edition. My name is Ben Cornett. As you know, you can find me on X at BennyBoy702, and you're watching it on my YouTube channel at BenCornett9015. So, real quick, if you're new to my channel, Ben's Quick Picks, this is a show where I do all my picks for the week. It's just straight up, no over, under, stuff like that. It's just straight up picks. So, with that being said, let me show you how I did in week 8 and my overall record for the season so far. And there you see it right there, 13-3. Man, I really rebounded nicely from the previous week where I went 6-7. Overall, I'm 82-40, so I'm very happy where I'm at right now. But now it's time for week 9. And as you can see, we've had a lot of things going on the past couple days. We've had trades, and also we had our first NFL head coach being let go in the Raiders, Josh McDaniels. So with these picks, I had to take that into consideration of everything that's transpired throughout the week. So with that being said, let me show you my week 9 picks for this week and tell me what you guys think. And those are my week 9 picks. As you know, we got 14 games this week. We got 4 teams on a bye. Lions, Jaguars, Broncos, and the 49ers. 49ers, well, they could use the bye week, 3 straight losses, but they did acquire Chase Young in the trade this week for the Commanders. But anyway, let's get to it. Now, I want to say, some of these videos lately have been pretty long, over 20 minutes, and the title is Ben's Quick Picks. So I'm going to go a little quicker this time, maybe not go into too much explanation on each game. So why don't we do it? Go with the quick picks here for week 9. So the Thursday night game is the Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Titans obviously are starting Will Levis, who in his debut defeated the Atlanta Falcons, and now he's going up to Pittsburgh on a short week, and he's facing a Steelers team that unfortunately lost to the Jaguars. Real quick, I'm just going to say this. My pick for this week, I'm going to go Pittsburgh here. They seem to always do well after a loss. I think they've won their last 6-7 games after the previous week when they lost a game. So with that being said, I'm going Pittsburgh. I know, Will Levis, he had a great game, but he's going to face a much better defense in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh usually plays well at home, even though they lost last week. But I expect the Steelers to bounce back, and their defense can take care of the Titans. So give me Steelers over the Titans, 19-13. All right, the Dolphins and Chiefs. This one is in Germany. That's going to be the first of 2 games in Germany. But this one, the Dolphins and Chiefs, last week, Dolphins beat the Patriots, and the Chiefs lost a tough one to the Broncos. Both division matchups, but this week it's in Germany, neutral site. I know Miami has a great offense, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. I think they're going to bounce back nicely. I know they had to be disappointed in that loss to Denver, and they want to bounce back. And Miami, they've had tough times against better opponents lately. They seem to beat the good team, the mediocre to bottom feeders, but their 2 losses were to Buffalo and the Eagles. And I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to grab this one this week. So give me KC over Miami, 27-24. All right, the Minnesota Vikings at the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, we know that Kirk Cousins is lost for the season with a torn Achilles. And they also acquired Josh Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals. So we don't know if he's going to be starting yet. And they're going to go up against an Atlanta team who had a tough loss last week up in Tennessee. I've said it. I've never really been a believer in the Falcons. It still pains me that we lost. My Buccaneers lost to the Falcons. But that was then. This is now. In fact, Desmond Ridder has been benched for Taylor Heineke. I'm cool with that because I just don't think Ridder's the kind of guy that's going to be your long-term quarterback. So with the Vikings losing Kirk Cousins, also Justin Jefferson's out, I'm going to go Falcons at home. If this were in Minnesota, I'd probably still take the Falcons. I just think the Falcons don't have as many injuries. And again, they play well at home. So give me Atlanta over the Vikings, 22-17. The LA Rams go to the Green Bay Packers. Now, both teams have been struggling lately. The Rams, I just saw the injury report not too long ago. They got a lot of guys on the report. Green Bay's a little more healthier. Yes, Matthew Stafford's way better than Jordan Love. But I'm actually going to go with an upset here. I think the Packers are going to beat the Rams here. And I just think they're due for a win here. Their run game, I know Jones has got a hamstring issue, but I think he'll be ready to play Sunday. And the Rams cannot stop the run. Teams run all over that defense, and I expect this team, the Packers, to run the ball a lot. That'll make it easier on Jordan Love. So give me the Packers over the Rams, 24-17. All right, my Buccaneers play the Houston Texans. Tough loss last Thursday night against the Buffalo Bills. Now they go to Houston. Houston had a tough loss at Carolina. This is an interesting game. A lot of people like the Texans in this one. Obviously, C.J. Stroud's played pretty good. Well, last week not so much, but Houston's defense is really good, especially at home. The Buccaneers, meanwhile, they do have a very good defense, but their offense has just been sluggish pretty much most of the season. Having said that, not being a homer here, but I like my Bucs to bounce back here. I think earlier in the week I was thinking taking Houston here, but the Buccaneers defense has always kept this team in games, and they say, there's a famous saying, defense travels, and the Buccaneers defense has been traveling. I'm actually going to go Bucs here to beat the Texans in Houston, 20-17. Yep, 20-17 Bucs over the Texans. Seahawks at Ravens. This could be one of the best matchups of the week. Seattle, big win over Cleveland last week. Baltimore, meanwhile, tough road game in Arizona. I said that would be kind of a trap game and that it would be closer than it was. But it's back in Baltimore. Seattle, they've struggled on the road this year. And the Ravens are at home. They play very well at home. I'm actually going to go Baltimore here, but this should be a good game, though. The Ravens' offense is finally starting to click a little bit. Seattle, they do have a solid defense, but Geno Smith always seems to struggle on the road, and I'm taking that into consideration this week. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson is starting to get it going now. That new offense is starting to fit him like a glove, and I'm going to go Ravens here, 27-20 over the Seattle Seahawks for a home win for the Ravens. Arizona Cardinals are at the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, they traded their quarterback Josh Dobbs this week, and the expectation is Kyler Murray may be playing. That doesn't matter because Cleveland's a much better team, better defensively. You can argue that Cleveland probably should have beaten the Seahawks last week up in Seattle, and I would probably agree with you. Cleveland's got a better defense, and P.J. Walker's probably going to start again, but who's going to start for Arizona? It's going to be Kyler Murray. I don't even know who their other quarterback is. It doesn't matter. I'm going Cleveland. I think this is going to be a rout. Give me the Browns, 28-10 over the Arizona Cardinals. All right, the Washington Commanders at the New England Patriots. The Commanders this week, we all know, made some trades. Montez Sweat went to the Bears, and Chase Young went to the 49ers. They did a fire sale, pretty much. They're pretty much going to rebuild. Meanwhile, the Patriots, Not that good. Although last week they started to look pretty good offensively against Miami. This was a tough one to pick. I'm just not impressed with both teams. However, I'm going to go with New England at home. They're better defensively, especially now with the Commanders trading players away, and that offensive line still is just not very good. And Sam Howell's going to have a tough time, especially against the Patriots defense. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Give me the Patriots 17, the Commanders 13. All right, the Bears at the Saints. Now, the Bears, tough loss last week down in LA against the Chargers. Saints, big bounce back win over the Colts. I thought the Colts would beat the Saints, but Derek Carr played pretty well, and so did Alvin Kamara. The Bears, they're not very good. And another tough road game. Now you got to go to New Orleans. The Saints seem to have finally been getting it together offensively. I think the Saints are going to win this game. I just don't see the Bears, whether it's Tyler Badgett still going or Justin Fields, doesn't matter. I like the Saints in this game. Give me 28, the Bears 17. The afternoon games, the Indianapolis Colts go up to Carolina. Panthers got their first win last week, so they're in the win column. Meanwhile, the Colts lost a tough one at home to the Saints. This will be an interesting game. With Anthony Richardson being out, we thought we would have the draft pick showdown between top draft picks, Anthony Richardson versus Bryce Young. We did have that last week with Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud, but this week it's, with Richardson gone for the year, it's Gardner Minshew. They're going down to Carolina. Carolina, pretty good defensively. Offensively, they struggle. And they did beat the Texans, but they only had 13 points, I believe. I think it's just 13 or 15 points. The Colts, they can score. They have a good run game. And I think that's what it's going to come down to, the better run game. Carolina has easy for me to say, Chuba Hubbard. And the Colts have Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor. I think both of them are going to have a big game against that Carolina defense. So give me the Colts in this game. I'm taking them on the road, 21-14 over the Panthers. The New York Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, we all know Josh McDaniels was let go. Antonio Pierce is going to be the interim head coach. He's facing his former team, the New York Giants, who traded away Leonard Williams. Giants, tough loss last week. I watched that game against the Jets. It was horrible. And, this game, I didn't know who to pick. It's just that bad. Both teams are not very good. I'm actually going to go with Giants here, just because I think they got their shit together a little bit more than the Raiders. Raiders have to make a coaching change. Now, usually teams will rally around the new coach, but I just don't trust the Raiders. This might bite me in the ass, but I'm going to take the Giants here. It's going to be low scoring. Their defense, at least, is really good. Kayvon Thibodeau was a beast last week against the Jets. Giants probably should have won that game, but I think their defense is going to do enough to hold on and beat the Raiders. Low scoring game. Let's go 16-14 over the Raiders. Probably the other game of the week would be the Cowboys at the Eagles, NFC East division rivalry. Cowboys, strong performance against the Rams last week. Now they got to go up to Philly. Philly, they had a big win down in Washington, D.C. last week. It's going to be an interesting game. I was really considering maybe this could be one of my upset picks, but I'm not going to take that chance. I'm going to go Philly here over Dallas. Dallas just seems to struggle against very good defenses. Dak does not do well against Philly, especially on the road. The Eagles probably not playing their best football, but if you're that good of a team, and they start playing their best football, watch out. And it's a division game, so anything can happen. But give me the Eagles in this game. I'm going to go 31-27 over the Cowboys. Should be a fun game to watch. All right, the other good game interesting game is the night game. Now, we all know it's the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. We all know there's the history behind that, especially last year with Damar Hamlin going down like he did. You know, that game never happened, but it's finally happening now. The Bills barely got by the Bucs last week. The Bengals, that was my pick over the 49ers. They got that one right. I just had a feeling they'd beat the Niners in San Fran. Joe Burrow played great. He's starting to get his groove back. That whole team's starting to get their groove back, on both sides of the ball. Buffalo, they're just hanging on, and you know, they're not playing their best football. They barely got by the Giants. They lost to New England, and they barely got by my Bucs. And they're not going to get away with that against the Bengals. I'm picking Cincinnati to win this game. It'll be a good game, but I like Cincinnati 24-20 over Buffalo. And the Monday night game, the LA Chargers travel to New York Jets. Chargers huge win on Sunday night over the Bears. The Jets won that ugly, horrible game against the New York Giants in the Battle of New York. Really, it's the Battle of New Jersey, but they're New York, whatever. You know, the Chargers, they've been kind of Jekyll and Hyde all year. You know, you either get the good Chargers or the bad Chargers. The Jets, meanwhile, as good as they've been defensively, they've just been horrible offensively. And I like the Jets defense, but I'm going to go with the Chargers here. I think it's going to be one of those games where the Chargers are going to finally break out. And Zach Wilson, he had a great drive in that last series to get to overtime last week, but he's not going to get away with that again. I thought about picking the Jets because of their defense, but I'm going to go with the Chargers. Maybe this is a safe pick, but let me go with the LA Chargers. I'm going to go 20-13 over the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. So those are my picks for the week. My explanation for them. Hopefully I went a little bit quicker, but let me show you one more time my picks for the week for week 9. Tell me what you guys think. Well, there you have it. Those are my week 9 picks in the NFL. And that'll do it for this episode. Hopefully I come back here next week with a pretty good record. And leave your comments below. Tell me what you think of these picks. Do you agree, disagree? Just let me know. And please like, share, and subscribe to this show. Would really appreciate that. And we'll be back here next week, right here for Ben's Quick Picks. Guys, take care and have a good NFL Week 9. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.